Okay, I've literally recorded this video probably 5 times now, and it's not going well. So I guess we'll try it a sixth time. Let's see how it goes. So recently, I wound up losing one of the clients that I've been working with for the past couple of months, and I wanted to take a little bit of time to distill some of the lessons I've learned through this partnership into sort of a consolidated video form to share with you, and also to be able to look back on over time for myself to see sort of the progress throughout time. So, with that being said, I have a few lessons and notes here on my computer that I'd like to go through. So, I guess I will just start with lesson number one. So, the biggest lesson that really stuck out to me in this partnership is this idea of having sort of a clear system in place that you can sort of guide your actions by. Now, the system is not meant to be perfect by any means. It's really meant to be sort of a foundational building block, especially starting out. That's something that you can actually build upon and scale over time and compound the lessons you learn all into a single system. The alternative to this is having this idea of sort of projecting a desired outcome and hoping it comes to fruition. And then if it does, great. If it does not, then you have to start over from square one and project a new outcome. This is really the big mistake I made in this partnership of just continually trying to project what I was hoping would come and then having no grounding to be able to build upon or filter the data and feedback through. So taking time to have sort of this path of sort of plan of action in place will make a huge difference, not only in the peace of mind whenever it comes to making decisions with this client that you may have, but also in the overall value you'll be able to bring to clients over the long term as you build this system for your unique business and turn it into something that is unique to only you. The second lesson ties really directly into this. It's this idea of learning by data and objective feedback as opposed to, like I mentioned, projecting. So this really does tie directly into the first point because it's a sort of additional layer on top of this idea of you want to have an objective, clear system in place starting out, and then you want to be able to build by the feedback you get that is objective data from your ad platform as opposed to projecting and hoping something sticks. The biggest problem with projecting and hoping that whatever you're doing sticks is twofold, really. First of all, there's no real replicability to it, and second of all, there's really no scalability to it. So every time you work with a new client, although it may be similar in sort of the industry and the approach you take, you're going to have to start over and you don't have any sort of company framework that you apply, which really makes a huge difference in both the ability you have to scale and the comfort the client has with taking you as a marketing company for their company. So with that being said, that is sort of a one and two kind of combined together. First of all, have a clear system in place, and second of all, learn by data that is objective from your ad platform as opposed to projecting and hoping that what you want to come true comes true. The third lesson here is this idea of really focusing on setting expectations well up front. It's not an easy task to really get, especially when you don't have any real context of what expectations should be. It's really something you need to learn to a certain extent from experience. But what I'm learning more and more is even if it costs you, the client, it's worth setting expectations you think you can meet as opposed to trying to flatter or set whatever expectation you think they want to hear and then having the pressure of constantly having to deliver to an expectation you're not even sure if you can meet. Of course, there's a balance here between, pushing yourself and also kind of controlling what the client should be expecting based on what you know from your industry. But this overall idea of taking time to really properly set expectations, no matter what the cost, is super important, and it'll actually make your life a lot easier, and it'll make the client's relationship with your company and the client's life overall a lot easier as well. Not least of all because the client can make the decision up front whether it's a good partnership for them or not, and you'll have less friction and less sort of contention overall in the relationship. With that being said, the last point really kind of connects as well to the third point, which is this idea of having a better understanding of realistic timelines and also time management overall. Another mistake that I made sort of in this, as you can tell, full of mistakes, but that is the purpose of this video. So another mistake that I made is sort of having a good understanding of a realistic timeline and sort of the span of time expected to really start bearing fruit for the clients. In this case, it was a lead generation client, and so being able to set the expectations up front of what a realistic timeline looks like for really starting to see leads, as well as including in that testing and all these other little pieces that you need to account for. Setting a realistic timeline of, hey, it might be 2 or 3 weeks before you start seeing results, but stick with it and you will be able to overall have a better experience and better results for your company overall. It makes a huge difference, and again, it ties really directly into even point 1 and 2 of having a clear system in place, because if you don't have a clear system in place, it's impossible to ever really get a stable and reliable timeline to be able to build from. So yeah, those are really some of the biggest lessons that I learned while working with this client in particular. So I hope those help you out, just in giving you a little bit better of an idea of what you may need to plan for, giving you some insight into what it looks like when you're working with clients. I know a big thing for me is just this idea of making your own journey sort of individualized, because no matter how many videos you watch, ultimately no one's going to be able to tell you all the little lessons you need to learn. That's really one of the hardest parts, at least for me so far, is the lessons you learn individually that no one else can know that you need to learn. So, I encourage you just to get out and start taking the steps you need to do what you want to do, because really there's no better teacher than true practical real life experience. So yeah, like I said, I hope this helps you out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.